If you're hearing my voice and you're 50, maybe 55, or anywhere near that threshold where every birthday card jokes about over the hill, I want you to understand something. This part of your life isn't a slow fade into obscurity. It isn't a rehearsal for decline. It's an invitation to meet yourself, possibly for the first time. Because I promise you, turning 80, looking back across the landscape of years, you will see things you missed when you were racing through your 50s. Sometimes, I wish it were possible to gift you this clarity, wrap it up in a bow, and set it on your kitchen table. But insight can't be given. It must be lived, earned, with days and nights, with heartache and laughter, with choices made and unmade. Nobody tells you when you're young how relentless time can be, a rainstorm that washes away the urgent things, leaving only the important ones. When I turned 50, I thought I'd reached a kind of summit, a place where I could rest, survey what lay behind me, and choose the next path with confidence. What nobody told me then, and what I desperately want you to hear now, is that those next choices matter just as much as all the rest, maybe even more, because your 50s are not a denouement. They're a hinge. They're the moment on the hike when you turn a corner and get your first clear view of the valley, wide, green, and silent, with all the possibility of what's left to explore. There's a trick life plays around this age. The world begins to treat you like a supporting actor in someone else's play. Suddenly, you become mum or granddad. You're the person people call for advice, for help moving house, for recipes and wisdom. And that's a gift, don't get me wrong. But it can also feel like the world is quietly packing up your dreams and aspirations, putting them in attic boxes. Don't let them. Dust them off. Examine them again in the light. If you listen to the still, small longing that sometimes catches you off guard, you'll discover that you are not done yet. You are not even close. Let's talk about forgiveness, because if you carry anything heavy from your first 5 decades, it's likely this. We think forgiveness is a gift to the other person. In truth, it's a mercy we grant ourselves. The people who wronged you, most of them no longer remember. The arguments with siblings, the betrayals, the disappointments, they become ghosts that linger only in your heart and mind. Every day you hold on to them is another day you don't get to live fully unburdened. Let go. You wouldn't walk around all day with a stone in your shoe if you could remove it, would you? Emotional grudges are the same kind of unnecessary pain. If you're estranged from someone you love, ask yourself what keeping that distance is really costing you. Pride is a tyrant in middle age. It convinces us we have more time to fix things, more opportunities to reach out. But time is not a guarantee. Think about that call, that letter, that visit, then do it. Even if they don't respond, even if it goes badly, you will at least be free from wondering, what if? And that, my friend, is freedom worth having. Now, about your dreams. Many of us get to 50 and think, I missed my chance. I'm here to tell you, in the strongest possible terms, that is not true. It is not too late to learn, to create, to explore. The lie that only the young should be daring is designed to keep you quiet. Don't believe it. I have seen people in their 70s begin to paint, to dance, to write books, to travel the world for the very first time. And they radiated a joy I never saw in them during their so-called prime years. If there's a story burning in your chest, a project you keep thinking about, or simply a city you long to see, give yourself permission to begin now. Perfection is a myth. Starting is the miracle. Plenty of people are afraid to embarrass themselves after 50, as though one misstep means the whole world will laugh. I promise you, most people are too worried about their own mistakes to notice yours. Be brave. Try the new thing, whatever it is. Dance badly. Cook something you've never tried. Travel to a place where you can't speak the language. You'll gather stories that will feed your spirit long after the applause has faded, long after you care about looking foolish. I also want to urge you to nurture your body, not to chase youth, but to honor what it has done for you. Stretch, yes. Walk in the sun. Eat well, but don't be militant. Laugh as much as possible. It's the best medicine, trite as that sounds. And remember, every scar, every stretch mark, every line on your hands or face is evidence. You lived, you loved, you mattered. The urge to reverse the clock is a distraction. Focus, instead, on being present in your skin, grateful for the vehicle that's carried your spirit this far. Finally, let me speak about presence. In your 50s, you can become an expert at busyness, filling your schedule with work, obligations, even entertainment. But don't let busyness become a mask for numbness. Find quiet. Spend time in the company of your own mind, not to judge your thoughts, but to understand them. Discomfort with silence is a sign that something inside you wants attention. Give it. Listen. You might be surprised at the richness of your own inner life, the dreams that still murmur through your heart, waiting for you to pay attention. If you do one thing after listening to me, start a list. Not of things you need to buy or deadlines you need to meet, but of things you still want to feel. Joy, forgiveness, adventure, peace. All of it is possible, and the time to pursue it isn't someday. It's right now, while your legs still carry you, while your hands are steady enough to hold a pen, a paintbrush, or someone else's fingers. At 80, I look back and see where I missed out, where I held on to resentments too long, where I kept my dreams for later. And I see also the places where I loved, forgave, tried and failed brilliantly. Those I do not regret. Those are the colors in the canvas of my memory. My hope for you is that you step forward into the rest of your life unafraid. Regret is only a shadow where courage dares to shine. The sun's not down yet. There's still time to dance. Making peace with time isn't just some poetic notion reserved for restless nights or quiet Sunday mornings. It's a practice, an ongoing, living thing you cultivate, like a garden that you have to tend to, pull weeds out of, and water. Imagine for a moment sitting down, pressing the record button on your phone, and speaking your truth, your voice, a simple thing, telling the arc of your life. Childhood memories, moments of pride, the hard lessons you learned, and the laughter you shared. You may not think it matters now, but years from now, your children might hear your laughter in those recordings, the wisdom behind your words, the hope behind your stories. They will have a living piece of you when they most need it. And then, think about the attic, that never-ending trove of cardboard boxes and dust. Most of us put this off, too busy, too tired, too attached to nostalgia. But one day, someone you love will have to open every box, sort through every picture, decide what to keep and what to give away. You may believe this doesn't matter, but take it from someone who waited too long. Giving order to the chaos, labeling a photo, setting aside a letter, writing down a name is not just a chore. It's an act of kindness, a way to lighten the load on the people you love the most. Writing your will might seem morbid or perhaps daunting, but it's not about preparing for death. It's about living responsibly. It's about ensuring that your wishes are heard when your voice is gone, that you have thought about the details and that you leave behind not confusion, but clarity. Too many times, I have seen families fracture under the weight of paperwork, lawyers, and uncertainty. I watched my daughter, still deep in grief, comb through drawers and files, while her mother's absence was still raw. These are labors of love you can offer while alive, a way to care for your family long after you are gone. That brings me to another truth, one that's so clear from the vantage point of 80 years on this earth. Money, the pursuit that gnawed at half my life, fades into the background eventually. It loses its power to define your worth, your relationships, your satisfaction. I have sat by bedsides of men who had built empires, men whose investments spanned continents, who in their final hours found their hearts starved, alone, bitter, tallying regrets, not balances. I've also held the hands of men and women who left behind little but memories. Their rooms were standing room only, filled with voices humming in harmony, stories told and retold, tears and hymns. I don't have to tell you which I would choose if given the chance. Peace is the true inheritance. In your 50s, you're at a rare crossroads, anchored by what you've built, still nimble enough to change. Your legacy isn't fixed yet. How do you want to be remembered? No one will recount your net worth at your funeral. They will remember if you listened, if you showed up when it mattered, if you looked into your grandchildren's eyes instead of your phone. They'll recall if you were kind, if you forgave, if you were emotionally open and present. Every gesture, every shared meal, every patient conversation is another brick in the foundation of the legacy you will leave. Friendship, I've learned, is a rare wine. Its circle narrows as you walk further into life, but its flavor deepens. If your friendships have become few, don't mourn the shrinking. Nourish the roots that remain. Phone calls, even for no reason, mean the world. Meeting for coffee, laughter that echoes, apologies made, old stories dredged up, these small rituals are the heartbeat of a rich life. And take more photos. Capture the moments now, not for vanity, but because one day memory will fail you, and those pictures will reignite the warmth of a moment almost forgotten. Photographs are the fingerprints of love on paper. Now, at 80, I live slower than I ever wanted to, and yet my life is richer than I ever dared hope. I watch the rain on the window, not with impatience, but with reverence. I sip tea slowly, feeling its warmth, honoring the quiet. I hold hands fiercely, aware each touch may be the last, and I ask questions that matter. Grief, once my enemy, is now an old companion. I let her sit beside me, let her tell her tale, because I know now that grief is nothing but the echo of deep, unabashed love. To feel it so keenly means I loved and was loved in return. If you're stumbling into your 50s, uncertain or harried, know this. Many call this era the beginning of decline. I say it is the beginning of your greatest chapter. You won't realize it now. That recognition only arrives when looking back from afar. Don't waste these years searching for unattainable perfection. Pursue meaning, seek depth, delight in the laughter around your dinner table and the silence of a sunset shared. Turn off the noise and listen, really listen, to your own thoughts, your own soul. This is the time to come home to yourself, not just to your obligations. If I had one wish, not for youth, but for a do-over, I would ask for one normal, messy, beautiful day at 53. I would have called my son, walked across that stubborn silence between us and reconciled. I would have said yes to my old friend's dream of a simple woodworking business, I would have stopped telling myself, maybe next year. Maybe is not your friend. It's the thief that steals the time you thought you owned. Let me leave you with a question, one that may echo in your mind, or perhaps, if you are lucky, set you free. If you had only 5 years left to live, what would you stop postponing? Whom would you call? What words would you finally speak? Which dream would you chase fiercely, regardless of the chance of failure? The sands of time slip through all our fingers, but you get to decide how you shape them and what mark you leave. So make peace with time, not by surrendering to it, but by walking alongside it. Love deeply, live generously, and leave something behind that is measured not in years or dollars, but in the warmth you gave and the love you inspired. If you only had 5 years left to live, what would you stop postponing today?